Disclaimer.
Something in the darkness grabbed my tongue and pulled hard.
My name is Cameron Leviticus Roseman. I am 29 years old. I died for 6 minutes on July 18, 2020.
And what I saw changed everything. Before I begin, please subscribe so more people can hear testimonies like this. My name is Cameron Leviticus Roseman, and for years I struggled with something I never believed could touch my soul. My own words. I live in Detroit, Michigan, and my days were simple. Work at the barbershop, make money, help my mom, look after my sisters. On the outside, I looked fine, always smiling, always cracking jokes, always pretending everything was under control. But inside, I carried a weight I never talked about. Every time something went wrong, every time I made a mistake, every time life pressed me too hard, I would whisper things under my breath, words I did not think mattered. I am tired of this life. Nothing good ever happens to me. I am cursed. I will not make it to 30. I said these things without thinking. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet, automatic like breathing. It felt harmless. It felt normal. Everyone complains, right? But those words began shaping the way I saw myself. I walked around feeling smaller every day. I carried stress in my shoulders like bricks. Even while cutting hair, smiling for customers, nodding politely, something inside me kept sinking. At church, I played the drums like I always did. People said they felt the anointing when the choir sang, but I felt nothing. Just emptiness. Just numbness. After service, while everyone hugged and laughed, I pulled away. I would tell myself, "You do not belong here. God is tired of you. You are wasting your life." I did not smoke. I did not drink. I did not chase girls. I did not do anything wild. But I was destroying myself quietly with words I never thought heaven heard. I told myself it was stress. I told myself it was just frustration. I told myself it did not matter. But deep down, I felt something weakening in me, something spiritual. And the more I spoke death over my life, the heavier I felt in my own skin. The night it happened was like any other. A warm July evening. The shop was loud all day, clippers buzzing, music playing, men talking about the Pistons losing again. By 8:30 p.m., most of the guys had gone home. I stayed behind to sweep up, close the register, turn off the lights. I was tired, but it was the kind of tired that felt deeper than my body, the kind that sits behind your ribs. As I swept the last pile of hair toward the dustpan, I whispered something I wish I could take back. "Man, I feel like I'm not going to make it much longer." The words slipped out without fear, without weight, without caution. But the moment they left my mouth, something inside me tightened, like my spirit flinched. I ignored it. I pulled the gate halfway down, turned to grab my backpack, and that was when it hit me. A sharp pressure pressed into my chest, like someone was pushing from the inside. My breath caught, just for a moment, but enough to frighten me. I leaned against the counter, waiting for it to pass. It did not. The pressure grew. My legs weakened. The room tilted. My vision blurred at the edges. And then the fear settled in. "Cameron, something is wrong." I tried to call out, but my voice cracked like a broken wire. A cold sweat washed over me. My knees buckled. The last thing I remember hearing was my coworker shouting from across the shop. "Bro, Cameron, hey, stay with us, man. Stay with us." Then everything dimmed, and I felt myself slipping. I expected to hit the floor hard, but I did not feel anything. No pain, no impact, just silence. When I opened my eyes, if you can call it that, I was standing upright, but something felt wrong. The room looked familiar, yet strange, like I was seeing it through water. Then I saw it, my body, lying on the barbershop floor. Still, eyes half closed, chest barely moving. My coworker, Malik, was kneeling beside me, slapping my face gently, panic rising in his voice. "Cameron, hey Cam, wake up bro. Come on man." I tried to answer, but no sound came out. I tried to step toward him, but my feet made no sound on the floor. It was like walking on air. My hands shook as I reached out to touch his shoulder. My fingers passed straight through him, like smoke. That was the moment the truth slapped me across the soul. I am not in my body. A cold wave rolled over me. My breath, whatever breath I had left, shivered out in fear. Malik pulled out his phone, hands trembling, dialing 911. His voice sounded distant, like he was shouting from the end of a long hallway. Please, please, he just collapsed. He is not breathing right. Hurry. I stare at my body, helpless, weightless, terrified. I tried to kneel beside it, but my knees never touched the ground. My heart, if I even had one, felt like it was swelling with panic. Then suddenly all sound faded. The buzzing shop lights gone. Malik's voice gone. The city noise outside gone. Everything froze. Everything held its breath. And then I felt it. A pull. Soft at first, just a tug behind my spine. Then stronger, pulling me backward. I tried to resist, digging my heels into the ground, but I had no weight. No body. No strength. The barber shop dimmed, like someone was turning the lights down slowly. The walls stretched. The room elongated into a long tunnel of shadow. The pull grew stronger, steady, unbroken, dragging me through the darkness, spreading behind me like ink. My chest tightened with a fear I had never felt in my life. I called out, "Help me! Somebody please!" But the words drowned in silence. Darkness swallowed the last corner of light behind me. I was moving now, not walking, being carried. Backward, deeper, farther. Heat rose beneath me in slow waves, warming the air like an open furnace far below the earth. I heard something, a sound too faint to understand. A cry, then another, then dozens more. Echoes long, stretched, painful, rolling through the dark like distant thunder. Shadows shifted, not as shapes, but as something alive. Watching, waiting, my breath, or whatever it was, hitched. A pressure settled on my chest, heavy and suffocating. The air felt thick, heavy, like it wanted to crawl under my skin. I tried to look back toward the shop, toward Malik, toward the life I knew, but the light had vanished completely. It was just me, the heat, the darkness, and the pull. And in that moment, a whisper, not from around me, but from inside me, rose like smoke. You spoke this over yourself. My soul trembled. The pull tightened. The darkness deepened. And I realized I was not falling. I was being taken. I thought it was over, but it had just begun. The moment the darkness released me, I fell to my knees on ground that felt like burning metal. The air hit my face like fire. My lungs refused to breathe. My spirit trembled like it knew something my mind could not understand. I looked around, and hell was awake. The ground stretched into miles of cracked, glowing stone. Rivers of heat pulsed beneath it like molten veins. The air shook with distant screams, some sharp, some broken, some that did not sound human at all. Then the smell hit me. A smell like burnt hair, hot rust, and something rotting inside the air itself. My body, or whatever I was, shivered violently. I tried to whisper, "God, where am I?" And that was when everything changed. The moment the sound left my mouth, the ground beneath me split open with a violent crack. A shadow surged upward, fast, too fast, and before I could move, something wrapped around my ankle. A tail, scaled, hot, alive. I screamed, and the creature shot upward out of the crack. A serpent longer than a bus, its body covered in jagged black scales that shined like wet stone. Its eyes glowed like burning coals, and its mouth opened wider than any animal I had ever seen. It lunged straight for my face. I stumbled back, but its jaws snapped shut inches from me, heat blasting against my skin, its breath smelling like death. I froze, and then it spoke, not with words, but with a deep vibration that rattled my skull. Silence. Its head whipped around, and in one violent motion, it struck again, this time clamping onto my jaw. Its teeth scraped across my mouth, and I felt something sharp hook under my tongue, pulling, lifting, tearing. My entire body convulsed. I grabbed its head, but my hands passed through its scales like smoke. I could feel the pain, but I could not fight it. The serpent yanked harder. My tongue stretched, burning, the taste of metal filling my mouth. I screamed again, but the sound was mangled. The serpent recoiled with a hiss, furious it could not tear it free. And that was when I saw them. The demons. Hundreds. Tall, twisted, skeletal creatures standing on the cliffs around me, their bodies shaped like ruined humans pulled apart and stitched back together wrong. Their eyes glowed dimly in the smoky air, watching me like a crowd waiting for a performance. Some crawled on all fours, their limbs bending the wrong way. Some stood upright, towering, their ribs visible through their skin. Some dragged chains that sparked against the ground. Some had mouths stretching from ear to ear, filled with needle-like teeth. And all of them moved closer each time I tried to speak. One demon with a torn, elongated jaw leaned forward and whispered in a voice that scraped like metal. His words brought him here. Another demon with wings made of bones hissed. Let him try to speak again. We will finish what the serpent started. My knees buckled. I cover my mouth with shaking hands, terrified that even breathing wrong would provoke them. But it was too late. The serpent struck again, wrapping itself around my entire body, squeezing, crushing, coiling around my chest. Then it lifted its head and pressed its snout against my mouth, forcing it open. I felt its claws press under my tongue again. It wanted to rip my voice from me. My prayers, my hope, my identity. Hell wanted my tongue silenced forever. I tried to shout Jesus. But the moment the demon left my lips, every demon shrieked at once, covering their ears, lunging toward me as if the name burned them. The serpent snapped violently, enraged, twisting its body around me harder, preparing to tear. And then everything shook. A quake, a blast, a rumble like thunder onto the earth. The demon snarled and backed away. The serpent recoiled, hissing violently, loosened its grip. The darkness rippled. Something else was coming. Something that even hell feared. The ground kept shaking, not violently, but with authority. The same way thunder warns before it hits. The serpent loosened its coils, hissing like something had struck it. The demons scattered backward, retreating into the smoke, growling and snarling as if they were being pushed by an invisible force. For a moment, hell held its breath, and then I heard it, a sound like a deep wind moving through stone. Not gentle, not soft, but powerful like a force pulling back the layers of the realm. A light, dim at first, began to crack open the darkness. Not warm, not soft, a piercing, holy light that made every demon shrink and snarl in fear. I shielded my eyes, trembling, my chest heaving, still feeling the serpent's claws under my tongue. Then a voice spoke. Not loud, not soft, but everywhere. Cameron, look. My body, or spirit, lifted from the ground without my control. My feet dangled above the cracked stone as the darkness parted in front of me, creating a long path leading into a massive cavern. A cavern filled with screams. The light pushed me forward, and the deeper I went, the more I felt the weight of something pressing against my soul. Truth. The walls of the cavern glowed with inscriptions, words carved into stone. Thousands of them. Millions maybe, each phrase burning like fire. I stepped closer. Every word on the wall was something someone had spoken over themselves. I am worthless. I hate my life. I am cursed. I will never change. Nothing good happens to me. I wish I were dead. The deeper I walked, the louder the screams became until I realized. The walls were not walls. They were souls. Human souls trapped inside the stone. Their faces pushing against the surface like they were trying to break free. Their mouths opening in silent agony, repeating the same words they spoke in life. Every negative word they declared became the prison that held them. I stumbled backward in horror, my hands shaking uncontrollably. No, what is this? What is this place? The voice answered, this is the harvest of self-cursing. This is where words become chains. This is the realm where truth reveals results, not excuses. I wanted to argue. I wanted to defend myself. I wanted to say, I did not mean those things. But before I could even speak, a heavy force gripped my jaw. Not the serpent, not a demon, the light itself. My mouth opened without permission, and a memory appeared. Me, sweeping the barbershop floor, whispering, I feel like I'm not going to make it much longer. The words hovered in the air, sharp, black, alive, dripping with spiritual weight. Then the voice thundered, "Cameron, this realm responds to what you declare. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Your words prepared your path, one step at a time." Suddenly, the ground split beside me, revealing another pit. Inside it were souls kneeling, gripping their tongues with both hands, screaming as shadows clawed at their throats. Not tearing them out, silencing them forever. These are the people who use their words to curse themselves, curse others, speak hopelessness, declare doom, invite darkness. They were held in a loop where no sound came out, only silent agony. The voice shook the cavern again. "I gave you a voice to build life, but you used it to invite death." My knees buckled. Tears burned down my face. "Please, please." I did not know. I did not know. I did not know. The light dimmed slightly, enough for me to see a figure walking toward me from the center of the cavern. Tall, radiant, filled with authority that made even the rocks tremble. My spirit bent forward without being asked. I could not stand his presence. The figure's voice was firm but filled with sorrow. "Cameron, you curse yourself so often that hell began to prepare for you, long before your body died." I sobbed uncontrollably. My words, my jokes, my frustrations, my muttering, I never thought they mattered. I never thought heaven heard them. I never thought hell claimed them. The figure raised a hand, and the walls of souls cried louder. Look at what repeated words become. The walls shifted, revealing entire groups of people. Those who said, "I hate my life." Those who said, "Nothing good will come." Those who said, "I will never be free." Those who said, "God does not want me." Each group trapped in a different torment shaped by the words they lived in. Then, the figure turned back to me. "Cameron, hell did not come for your sins alone. Hell came for your agreement." I collapsed to the ground, screaming, "I take it back. Please, please, I take it back." The light shook again, and something massive began moving behind the figure. A gate shaped like a mouth. Chained, burning, waiting, and it opened. The gate shaped like a burning mouth yawned open wider, pulling the air toward it like a violent wind. My body shook uncontrollably. My knees scraped against the stone as the force dragged me inch by inch toward the fire. The demons returned instantly, hundreds, clawing over the cliffs, crawling across the ground, rising from cracks, all rushing toward me with desperate hunger. Some leaped forward on all fours, snarling. Some stretched their jaws, open unnaturally wide. Some flew overhead with bony wings scraping sparks off the air. And the serpent, the same one that tried to rip out my tongue, shot out of the pit beside me, coiling around my leg, tightening, dragging me toward the gate. I screamed. My hands clawed at the ground, but the stone crumbled under my fingers. The gate howled, an unending roar of heat and torment. The voice I heard earlier was silent now. Nothing stopped the pull. Nothing slowed the darkness. Nothing defended me. I thought this was it. I thought this was the moment hell finally swallowed me whole. The serpent lifted its head, opening its jaws, ready to finish what it started. It lunged, and the entire realm exploded in light. Not warm light, violent light. Light like lightning tearing the sky apart, shaking the bones of hell itself. A shock wave blasted outward from above me, knocking every demon backward. The serpent screamed, recoiling so fast it slammed into the stone wall and vanished into the cracks. The light grew brighter until I could not see the ground, the sky, or my own hands. Then, through the blinding white, a hand reached down, strong, steady, glowing so fiercely that the darkness around it cracked like broken glass. It gripped my arm, not gently, but with unshakable force, and pulled me upward. My body flew off the ground. The demons roared in rage, lunging after me as I rose. One with horns tried to grab my foot. Its fingers burned to ash in the light. Another leaped, screaming. Its wings disintegrated midair. A tall one stretched its arms toward me. Its entire body collapsed like dust struck by a storm. The light broke them without effort. Then I heard the voice again, but now closer, clearer, filled with authority that made hell tremble. Enough. The entire realm froze. Every demon dropped to its knees. Every scream silenced. Every flame bowed. Even the gate itself stopped pulling, like fear had shut its mouth. The hand pulled me higher, and the voice continued. Cameron, you do not belong here. I sobbed, loud, shaking, broken. Please, please take me home. I do not want to die in this place, please. The light lifted me through the smoke, through the heat, through the darkness that clawed at my legs as if trying to drag me back. But the hand did not release me. It held tighter, stronger, as if my soul weighed nothing. And for the first time since I collapsed in the barbershop, I felt air, cold air, real air. The darkness beneath me shrieked. A single scream from every demon at once. And then, the realm let go. I rose upward violently, like being shot out of a cannon, rushing towards something brighter than anything I had ever seen. The hand stayed on my arm. The voice stayed in my ears. And I knew. Someone fought for me. Someone claimed me. Someone refused to let hell finish its work. The light swallowed everything. Everything. The light carried me faster and faster, tearing upward through a tunnel of brilliance. My spirit shook like it was being pulled apart and rebuilt at the same time. Every memory, every word I spoke, every moment of fear, all of it burned through me like fire. Then, in one violent instant, the hand released me. I fell, not downward, not into darkness, into myself. My body hit me like a crash. My chest exploded in pain. My back arched off the floor. My mouth flew open, gasping for air I could not find. 1,000 needles of sensation stabbed my nerves as spirit and flesh reconnected. I heard shouting, loud, frantic, desperate. He's coming back. Cam, can you hear me? Stay with US. Stay with US. Hands pressed on my chest. Another hand held my head still. A paramedic's voice shook beside my ear. Come on, Cameron, breathe. I tried. Nothing happened. My lungs were locked tight, like invisible chains wrapped around them. The paramedic yelled again, louder. Cameron, breathe. And then something from deep inside my chest snapped. A spiritual break. An air crashed into me like a wave. I gasped so hard it felt like my ribs cracked. I coughed violently, rolling onto my side, tears spilling from my eyes. My whole body trembled uncontrollably, as if hell's heat was still burning under my skin. The paramedics held me steady. Malik was standing behind them, crying, shaking, hands on his head. Bro, I thought you were gone. I thought you were gone. I tried to speak, but my voice came out shattered, raw, like something had been ripped through my throat. But I couldn't finish the sentence. My tongue still burned. My jaw still throbbed. I could still feel the serpent's claws where they hooked under my mouth. The paramedic leaned close, shining a light in my eyes. Cameron, do you know where you are? I nodded weakly. The truth rang through my mind like an echo. I should not be alive. I should not be breathing. I should not be here. Not after what I saw. Not after what tried to claim me. Not after the gate opened for me. My hands shook violently as memories flooded back. The serpent coiling around me. The demons reaching. The cavern of cursed souls. The voice of judgment. The hand that pulled me out. I grabbed the paramedic's wrist suddenly, eyes wide, voice trembling. I was in a place. He interrupted softly. Just breathe, okay? We have you. But he did not understand. No one did. My soul was still screaming. The ambulance doors slammed shut. The siren wailed to life. The city lights streaked past the windows as we sped toward the hospital. But I could still hear hell. Every few seconds, somewhere behind the edges of my consciousness. A crack, a hiss, a distant scream, like something from that realm, remember my name. I pressed my hands over my ears, shaking my head, choking on sobs. No, please. I did not want to go back. The paramedic placed a calming hand on my shoulder. You're safe, Cameron. You're safe. But I knew something he didn't. I did not escape hell. I was rescued from it. And rescued souls are never the same. I spent 2 days in the hospital, not because my body was weak, but because my mind would not stop shaking. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw darkness moving. Every time I swallowed, I felt the serpent's claws under my tongue. Every time someone spoke to me, I heard echoes layered behind their voice. Reminders of the realm I escaped. But on the second night, something happened. I sat alone in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling, asking the same question over and over. Why me? Why was hell waiting for me? And the answer came, not in fire, not in thunder, but in a whisper so soft it broke me. Because you agreed with death. I felt it instantly. The weight of every sentence I had spoken over myself. I am cursed. I hate my life. I'm not going to live long. Nothing good ever happens to me. I will never make it. Every one of those words became a thread, and hell had been braiding those threads into a rope around my life. Tears slipped down my face as truth hit me. I invited darkness with my own mouth. I opened doors without knowing. I cursed myself into weakness. Not a single demon dragged me there. My words did. That was the core of everything I saw. The theme, the warning, the truth I can never forget. Words build paths. Fire words build prisons. Fire words build futures. Fire words reach realms before you do. Asterisk, asterisk. I realized something terrifying. Hell did not claim me because of a dramatic sin. No addiction, no violence, no crime. Hell claimed me because I trained my soul to expect ruin. I shaped my world with negativity. I weakened my spirit with hopeless confessions. I destroyed my confidence with cursed sentences. And the more I spoke death, the easier it became for death to reach me. That was the moral. That was the warning. That was the truth burning in my chest as I left that hospital. I could not live the same way again. I could not treat words like they meant nothing. I walked out of that hospital with a broken voice but a new conviction. From that day, I refused to speak death over my life. I refused to joke about tragedy. I refused to declare hopelessness. I refused to agree with despair. I apologized to God for every sentence I threw carelessly into the air. And for the first time in years, my mouth felt clean. My spirit felt light. My voice felt sacred. I told my pastor everything. I told my family everything. I told my sisters the truth. Do not curse yourselves. Do not joke about failing. Do not speak death casually. Your tongue is more powerful than you think. And then I understood the reason God pulled me back. He did not rescue me because I deserved it. He rescued me because someone needed to hear this. Your words are seeds, and every seed will rise again, either in light or in fire. If you're hearing me right now, please listen. Do not speak carelessly over your life. Do not curse yourself. Do not declare doom when you are frustrated. Do not joke about death or failure. Do not agree with the enemy. Do not plant seeds you do not want to harvest. Because I saw where those seeds grow. I saw what happens when words build chains. I saw souls trapped inside the sentences they repeated. I saw darkness preparing for people who have no idea what they are inviting. And I am begging you, speak life. Choose life. Protect your tongue. Because hell listens more carefully than you think. Thank you for listening. Subscribe if you want more testimonies like this. Share this with someone who speaks too carelessly. And remember, there are warnings people need to hear. And God pulled me out of hell so I could give you this one.